Tongfu's turn to ban.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Fengyun Dota 2 tournament. We've got ForLove versus Tongfu. It's game number 3, the final game of the evening here in this last best of 3 series. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit. My name is Mont. With me tonight is Baseskip. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very, very well. I'm very excited for this third game.
Yeah, I am as well, and I gotta say, you know, it's been a long night for me, obviously. It's about, I think, 8 in the morning, my time, and so got a little tired in that last game, admittedly, just trying to hype things up as much as possible. But, man, it's going to be a good one right here. Of course, Tongfu came back. They were down 1-0, and they had a nice second game. So we'll see how they react to ForLove's play here, and we'll see what ForLove can do with their draft. I think with the Weaver pick in the first game and the second game. The first game it worked really well. In the second game, they had a bit of trouble with it. They couldn't get him the farm they needed. The Dragonite pick didn't go their way as well. And Tongfu with the draft, the Lifestealer did well, and they shut down the Timber Saw on top of that very effectively.
Yeah, and we're back to mood drafting again in this third game. So we'll see. I think this has been a really entertaining series so far. Tongfu game 1 seemed like they weren't sure what was going on. Draft is a little bit off, but they've mixed things up. They're looking pretty good, and yeah, we'll have to see, because ForLove, as you mentioned, they do seem to be. They have a couple of sticking points that maybe aren't the best. You know, they pick up the Weaver a lot. I don't think it was necessarily to their detriment when they took it in the draft, like they did in game 2, but they also need to maybe show us a little bit more variety if they're going to take this third game against Tongfu here. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that you can't go for that hero 3 times in a row, especially when you just lost like that with the Weaver in the second game. And I think that, you know, they should have a little bit of versatility. I mean, this is a Chinese team that, you know, they took Tongfu. They took him, obviously, to a very quick game 1 victory for ForLove. And honestly, with Tongfu, they, you know, I felt like they just had such a loss in that first game that it would be tough to come back in the second game and win. But they did, and ForLove had a good start in that game as well in that second game. So we'll see what they want to pick in terms of their draft. Tongfu go for Rubik again. Sansheng played it very well in that last game, unsurprisingly. So for ForLove right now, this first start of the draft, I think, is going to be an indication of, you know, what are they going to pick up and who they're going to go for. We'll see if they go for the Weaver early on or if they go for something different here.
Yeah, the Rubik is really nice. It already deters the Weaver a bit. I think if ForLove want the Weaver, they're going to have to draft this really carefully in terms of getting rid of things like Storm and Night Stalker, if at all possible. And like we said in the draft for game 2, I don't think that Tongfu even necessarily needed the Storm to deal with the Weaver. Had a Rubik, they already had a Nyx Assassin, and I think that would have been just fine. So some big decisions to be made here by ForLove. Wouldn't be too surprised to see maybe just that Crystal Maiden coming up again for Stan. What else has made it through? I guess there's still a Slark. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Bristleback.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it's Bristleback. Okay, so they just go for the Weaver straight out.
I feel like that's not the right decision. You just said they've got to be careful with this draft.
Yeah.
Like taking out heroes if they wanted to pick that up. Now they could just go for like a Storm Spirit again. I guess if they want to go that route, they've got to pick up like a Storm Spirit now, or even like a Nyx Assassin, which worked well for them. Tongfu really could go for the same draft, but the Nature's Prophet may throw a monkey wrench into that plan for Tongfu. So we'll see.
Honestly, I think if you're Tongfu, like, ForLove could be laying a trap for a Storm Spirit. There's a chance that maybe that's going to happen, but I think if you're Tongfu here, you just take the Storm, you ban the OD, and you ban the Night Stalker, and you're pretty happy. But no, Tongfu instead are going to go for the Nyx. Deals with the Nature's Prophet and the Weaver about as well as the Storm does. So I guess the alternative pick, and it needs a little bit less setup, so it gives them room to ban things like Dragonite and, you know, among other stuff.
Yeah, and then you expected to see that Storm Spirit ban coming out from ForLove. That's not a huge surprise. They say, listen, we'll give you the Nyx Assassin. We're not going to give you the Storm Spirit again. That was a real big problem. So we talked about variety for ForLove's lineup. We talked about, you know, what, of course, they can do with this, and they go for the Weaver again, and that's just not really exactly what you wanted to see, I feel like. And I personally don't like the Weaver once again coming out for ForLove, but who knows? Maybe they feel comfortable enough with it that they can feel, you know, like they can grab this game.
Yeah, so we'll see where Tongfu go from here? They've still got the opportunity to go for that, for a variation on the pushing lineup that they went for game one. I think that would be a fine choice. The Weaver does definitely need some time to get rolling, so we could still see the ZSMJ Chen sneaking in here somewhere. Maybe instead of the Lone Druid, you get something like the Pugna or your safe lane Death Prophet, something along those lines. The Death Prophet could even be great here. You've got a long duration silence against the Weaver. The push is going to punish him for trying to farm early. And of course, Tongfu could even do other stuff. They don't have to go for the pushing draft. There's still the option to go for a really heavy ganking draft if they want to. So plenty of options for them. The same can probably be said for ForLove, however, though they have locked into 2 of their core heroes already.
Team ban.
Yeah, I mean, with Tongfu, I would like to see them go for that heavy gank lineup. I feel like that's kind of fits more their play style, especially with the Rubik, you know, and being effective with telekinesis early on. They're not going to be able to go for DK or anything like that because they banned it out, obviously, and no Storm Spirit available to them. I feel like an aggressive mid would be really nice for them. I think Mood plays a very effective Templar Assassin. I would really like to see him play that and do really well with it, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the best idea here against the Weaver. Maybe, I mean, it could work well. But obviously, you'd probably expect to see that later on in the draft if you want to go that route. For ForLove, they have no supports just yet, and they need to pick some up soon. And they'll probably go for, you know, Stan's Crystal Maiden again, despite him not having the best game last time around. You know, CM wouldn't be bad here. There's a Bane effectively available as well, but that's in less and less play. And then, of course, an Enchantress if you want to pick that up, but I'm not sure how they feel about that.
Yeah, the draft could go a number of different directions from this point. It'll be really interesting to see. We've already chewed through a lot of bonus time for Tongfu. They were really heavily weighing that Night Stalker ban. ForLove, well, they get rid of the Chen. I think no big surprises there. So that does kind of lock Tongfu out a little bit from that one particular push strat that I did mention. And ForLove gonna fish for some more information. They go for the CM here.
Yeah, it's to be expected. It's a good hero, solid, just standard pickup. When you think about supports, you think about Crystal Maiden in the 6.79 patch. The metagame, she's good at ganking, she's good at roaming, she's good at fighting in team fights with Freezing Field, and she gives that Arcane Aura, which is always nice to have for any lineup. So the everyman support the Crystal Maiden for the ForLove. For Tongfu, well, what's that going to be? You know what? They already have their supports, realistically, unless they want to do Kabu, next Assassin offlane again, which works well. You know, so maybe they pick up another support here. Maybe they go for something else in terms of like a carry, a mid. They picked Zhou, the lifesteal, last time around. It's available. It's up and ready to go. And I wouldn't mind that again from Tongfu.
I don't know if it's necessarily the best pickup here. You're already dealing with the Weaver. I guess you could go for, say, Puck and Lifestealer. And even if they don't go for the Lifestealer, I think the Puck could be a really nice pickup. But they're going to stick with this mid Nyx Assassin, and they pick up Alina. So whatever it's going to be mid for ForLove, Tongfu have very clearly shown that we are more than willing to gank whatever you put there. And ForLove mix it up a little bit, and they take the Ancient Apparition. I'm not too opposed to this pickup, and this could even be the beginnings of a very, very strong aggressive tri-lane, Weaver, Crystal Maiden, plus Ancient Apparition, just because of that interaction between the Chilling Touch and Gemini Attack.
Yeah, it does so much damage early on. You mentioned that Chilling Touch is so effective with the Weaver. It's a nice little combination that is helpful in grabbing kills early on in a nice aggro tri-lane. But Tongfu go for the defensive approach. They're going to go for the anti-mage for Zhou. Interesting pick, but certainly could pay out for them if they get him farmed up quickly. They can get him some nice items to be able to be effective here. This is kind of like the opposite of what we saw from them. I mean, that Lifestealer is a very much, you know, early mid to game kind of carry. He can do well in the late game, but Anti-Mage is kind of the opposite. He doesn't do very well early on in the game, but in a defensive tri-lane that has kill potential, he can do okay if they're going to aggro tri-lane. So I'm not sure about this pickup. What do you think about the AM?
I'm not a huge fan of the Anti-Mage, honestly. I think they've maybe got the space to run it here, but I think this is going to be a big motivation for ForLove to just run an aggressive tri-lane and try and put pressure on the AM early. So the one problem for Tongfu is, well, I guess the one big thing at the moment right now is we still have two solo heroes up in the air, and both teams have immediately realized what's going on. Tongfu have their defensive tri-lane, ForLove have their aggressive tri-lane, potentially. And the only deciding factor here is going to be the strength of the solos. If Tongfu can somehow find an overwhelmingly good solo matchup for the offlane, then that might deter ForLove from running this aggro try. So this is where we start, and this is where the fact that Tongfu have last pick is a really big deal, because ForLove can quite easily be counterpicked here.
Yeah, it absolutely can, and I don't know. This is crunch time. I feel like if any draft has crunch time, it's going to be this one here. And ForLove, they need to pick up something here. They obviously they've got no real mid. I feel like
it just needs to be something that can hold down the lane, I think. And even if they have the option to, like a hero that would have the option to shuffle with the Prophet to get a better matchup somewhere in there, I think would be great. But they go for the Kunkka. I think he's going to be fine against the Nyx, and it's a hero that I always like to see. I guess X marks the spot is going to be great initiation against the anti-mage as well, and that's something that they did lack a little bit. They don't have a lot of hard stuns, and the anti-mage is going to get a little bit out of control, maybe at least until the Nature's Prophet gets a Hex, I guess. But that's really far down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be probably about the 30-minute mark if he has, decent farm. Maybe a little bit before that if he's got decent farm, but should be right around there, because usually you want to go for that phase Midas and not directly into the side of the Vise, but it is going to be that Lifestealer coming out for Tongfu, interestingly enough. So how are they going to lane this? Is this like a mid Nyx Assassin? No, it's Kabu playing it.
It's
mid Lifestealer.
It's Lifestealer versus, it's Lifestealer versus Kunkka, Nyx Assassin versus Nature's Prophet, and then Trilane versus Trilane, I would guess. I mean, it could also end up being that ForLove decide to go for the defensive Trilane instead, just because they're worried about the Rubik and the Lina roaming on both of their two solos, because the Nature's Prophet and the Kunkka are both very vulnerable. So this could honestly be the biggest decision that ForLove make all game, whether or not they choose to go for this aggro try or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how it does go, and I think that because they went for the aggro try in the past two games, I'm inclined to believe they're going to do it again, because I think that they just...
Are they going for Roshan?
They smoked up. They've got two salves up on the Ancient Apparition. They've got a Bring of Basilius already. This is going to be a level 1 Roche coming out, and I don't know if Tongfu is going to scout this out right now. This is going to be a huge pickup for ForLove if they can get this done. They're not heading to Roshan. They're not checking this out, and that happens so often in Western Dota that people will check the Roche pit. Tongfu is not doing it. They're not making their way over there. They might give this up. It's going down, obviously, very slowly, but surely. Ah, man, this is going to be close. Can they take this down in time before the game starts? I'm not sure. This is, you can see Fan's actually taking a lot of damage. He's got to be careful. He does have a salve. He will salve up now. You look at what Tongfu is doing. They see nobody here warding right now. They're pinging out. There is going to be no pings coming through. That wasn't a purple ping onto the Roche pit. It's falling even further. Joe heading over there. Here we go. Are they going to spot this out? I think it's going to be too late, maybe, if they go over there. They're not heading there just yet. Joe's waiting for the rune. They have no idea. They're not checking Roche at all. They're going to come right out. They'll see 5 heroes. The illusion rune is going to be taken bottom by someone. It's probably going to be ZSMJ. That doesn't matter. What matters? Fan picks up the Aegis. Level 1 Roshan. They are all level 2 now. The 200 gold goes their way. That is a huge pickup coming out for Team ForLove.
What a play by ForLove. Like, that was... If you look at their lineup, and if you showed me their lineup and you're like, can this team do level 1 Roshan, I wouldn't have any idea. I wouldn't be able to tell you. But now that they all start off with level 2.5, the decision to go for the aggressive tri-lane is obvious. It's really, really easy. And they're even going to shuffle things around a little bit. The Prophet's going to be in the tri-lane. And they're going to leave the Weaver to head up towards top lane against the Nyx Assassins. So we'll see what Tongfu can do here.
They are going to go for Telekinesis. The Chilling Touch is up. There's the Light Striker away pretty hot, taking damage, but they do get first blood. That's Stan doing the job there. Joe trying to get the right click on pretty hot. He will, but now he's got to blink away. So still the first blood going their way, and now ForLove are getting even more out of this game, and they really shouldn't have, because that was perfect initiation from Tongfu.
Yeah, Tongfu knew that they needed to try and make the attempt. Yeah, obviously losing the first blood, not great, but that fight was probably a little bit closer than it should be, and it goes to show that Tongfu have still sized up their opponents fairly well, and I think ForLove, they need to make sure that they're not breathing a sigh of relief too early. They're like, whew, got away with a level 1 Roshan. we've won the game for sure. They've still got some weird lanes. They've still got this Nature's Prophet in a tri-lane. And they do need to still be careful with their tri-lane execution. Try and lock Zhou out of the farm.
Yeah, Crystal Maiden will go down to a neutral. She was rather low, so Stan does the same thing he's done in the past game. And or excuse me, it's actually not Stan. Excuse me, it was 5400. Did we do lineups? We haven't done lineups.
We haven't
yet.
done intros because level inertia I'm too high.
All right, well, real quick, Pretty Hall on the Nature's Prophet down in the bottom lane. Stan is going to be on the Ancient Apparition. We'll have 5400 on the Crystal Maiden. In the mid lane, we'll see Fan. He'll be up on the Kunkka. I'm checking back down bottom just to make sure nothing has happened here. And then up top, you can see Yim will be on the Weaver.
And for Tongfu, just as quick, we've got Kabu over on the Nyx Assassin heading towards mid. We've got Mu on the Lifestealer. Bottom lane is going to be ZSMJ on Rubik. Sansheng playing the Lina, and Zhou will be the anti-mage.
Got it. Made it, guys. We did it. Nice job. Nice job.
High five.
That's right. So far right now, 12 last hits, actually 13 going the way of the Lifestealer. He is mid right now. The blink ahead, though. They're going to try to fight, but look at ZSMJ's health. He's going to fall next. Dragon Slave, 5400 will be the next to fall. The Cold Feet not going to latch up there, it looks like, but the damage being done. He's still alive. He's got regen to go. He also has a stick charge. Another 1-for-1 trade, it looks like, for the time being.
I don't think a worthwhile 1-for-1 for ForLove. They're the higher level heroes. They're giving away a little bit more when they die. And the anti-mage, yes, he's not getting a whole lot of creeps, but I'm not sure if he's being shut down as effectively as ForLove would hope, because they don't really have a ganking hero that's going to come online in another lane. The Weaver's going to be just chilling out top lane for the rest of the game, probably until, at least 15 minutes. And the Kunkka might make a move down towards bot, but there's not going to be anything that changes the course of this bottom lane too quickly. And as we move further on, that starting boost from the level inertia is going to diminish pretty significantly down to probably only one level, and that's not a big deal, especially when you've got a hero like Ancient Apparition, who, while he's amazing with 1 point Cold Feet, 1 point Chilling Touch, doesn't scale that well as far as this Trilane versus Trilane is concerned.
But the early level 6 ultimate, the early Ice Blast, would be super huge to have for Stan, I think, and they do need to get those levels. They are contesting everything here in this jungle, all of the polls. You could see Fan was looking for the 4-minute rune at his top. It is that illusion rune, and he still has that Aegis 4. It looks to be about another minute, maybe a little bit less. I'm not sure. But ForLove, I agree that they can't sit too comfortably on their laurels. They have to get something going here. They need to try to pick up a kill somewhere, and it's got to be more than just one or a 1-for-1 trade. I feel like they've got to get something done, and they're trying to stop Zhou from farming. He's only got 12 last hits, so Zhou farming this slow means that he's probably going to have his Battle Fury or whatever he wants to go for online a bit later than you'd like to see. So they're actually going to telekinesis, Pretty Hall out of position, Light Strike Array, Dragon Slave, a lot of damage. The Sprout not even coming through. Zhou, Cold Feet, he got latched up, but the damage is not there without that Nature's Prophet. And suddenly, they're losing heroes in this lane rather than getting kills and trading.
Yeah, that was... The supports backed off just a little bit. Tongfu saw an opportunity, and they went for it. Again, you talked about this during the draft. This is do or die for both of these two teams. There's no safety net. There's no lower bracket. You win this or you're done. And I'm a little bit surprised that ForLove even made the decision to have the Prophet in this tri-lane. I know it would be expensive, but I'd almost prefer to see them bring Yim down bot and just put the Prophet up against Kabu. It's not too late. There isn't too much of a level discrepancy between the Prophet and the Nyx Assassin just yet, but I don't think they can wait too much longer.
See what happens right now as we roam on through. Yim actually took a lot of damage up in that top lane. He'll TP his way out of there. Just get some health again and get ready to go. And actually, Torrent does hit up on Mu in the mid lane, and Fan's been hitting a lot of these. He actually does have his Ghost Ship now. He is level 7, so no phase boots just yet, and he could go down that route very soon. Now that he has his bottle, now he's got his Magic Wand and Stout Shield. Something's flying down. That is just going to be some wards here for ForLove. The thing is, Pretty Hall is sitting on treads right now, so going for more of a, I guess, later game kind of Nature's Prophet here. Dragon Slave is going to go. Aegis is reclaimed in 5 seconds, as you can clearly see, so, that safety net for Fan is gone here, and we'll just see what they can accomplish down in this bottom lane. As they lost a hero, Zhou is just trying to maybe look for that double damage rune. You can see 5400 as well as Stan. They're not going to get there in time. Zhou does have the double damage, but now the X marks. The TP's going to come through. ForLove shouldn't fight this, and they maybe get the kill on Zhou. Oh, yeah, they're going to take him down. He could not blink away. He was frostbitten, or excuse me. And, of course, the Ancient Apparition stun came through as well. Moo getting chased down, but X Marcus is up and ready, but so is the Rage in 7 seconds. They're going to go ahead and Torrent instead. They missed that Torrent. ZSMJ taking the Tidebringer damage. X Marks is up again. You can see ZSMJ in trouble. Dragonslave doing some work, but ZSMJ will still fall. Moo's raged up. Light Striker right hitting on Fan. Maybe they don't chase Moo anymore. He has no more rage for a couple of seconds, and a nice bit of trading going for ForLove there.
Yeah, well, all of that was on Zhou, really. I don't know why he blinked in to the rune with no vision when he's only got 1 point in blink. Like, at the very best, he's running around in circles for 12 seconds, and chances are that he dies. Even if the Kunkka wasn't there, he probably just gets bitten into a cold feed and goes down. And Stan's even got 3 points in Chilling Touch, so they've got plenty of right-click damage as well.
And I like that choice too. It's been effective. When it's just the supports roaming in, they do a lot of damage, add another hero in there, and they can get kills very easily. Pretty Hall is actually rotated into the jungle right now, and I do like this decision because no one's down about him. And Yim, yeah, is very much dead. That's a Mana Void and the Light Strike Array combining to get that kill. That's a very big pickup that they needed to stop Yim from farming. He was pretty much just free farming the entire game, and now he's just got treads, and pretty much that's it other than the magic wand. I don't think anything's on the courier. It is not, so he's had decent farm, but you know that will stop him from progressing. Fan is smoked up with 5400. They're going to look for maybe a pick off here, and it might be even on Zhou. He actually is going to TP down bottom to continue to farm there and do it safely. So with the smoke ink, we'll see where they want to go. Fan is going to lead the way, with trailing behind, not too far behind, the Crystal Maiden, who is rather slow. She doesn't have boots, and that's why. The smoke does go away. It's just taking too long for them to get anything going. So, as of right now, Basecamp, anything that you've spotted across the map that you find interesting? Anything, you know, crazy happening?
I'm a big... Oh, terrible pun, but I'm a big fan of the Kunkka build. He's got 3 points in X marks the spot. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
It's alright.
But he's got the 3 points in X marks the spot. I think it's pretty much the only way that they can hope to kill the anti-mage. Like we saw in a lot of these engagements bottom lane, he was able to just sit there, fight, wait until the cold feet had almost coalesced, and then just immediately blink away. So having the really easy combo of just X and then immediately boat gives them a really good shot of being able to kill him here.
Yeah, and with the phase boots, it gives him that much more damage. The boat's going to be pretty effective if he hits it. It shouldn't be too hard. Zhou is actually realizing he might get ganked down here. They don't have a lane ward, it looks like, for the Radiant team, however. But Fan is sitting here on the side. You can see actually trying to bait this a little bit is Stan. And not just baiting, but just sitting here on the side, just saying, okay, I'm farming. Nothing, you know, suspicious is happening at all. Don't mind me. Except they spot out Fan right now as there is Vendetta up Kabu. Zhou is actually looking to fight and decides against it. So he's like, yeah, there's heroes here that we maybe don't want to deal with right now. But Fan's going to go ahead and dive anyways. There's the X-Marts. The Torrent's going to go to ship as well. The Impale's going to fly, but Zhou still going to get hit up with that ghost ship now. Fan, Nature's Wrath coming through. A lot of TPs coming in from Tongfu. The Ice Blast, it's going to hit only on 2. It looks like maybe even just 1 right now. Going down is going to be the Kunkka. A little bit too hefty of a dive right now as they rotate all of their heroes down to take Fan down.
Yeah, that was really nicely played by Tongfu. Everybody had a TP ready to go. They thought that there was going to be some aggression played towards Zhou, and they were 100% right. They get the counter kill, and things are looking pretty good for Tongfu. And I also think Tongfu are the team that are advantaged for the late game. They've got a Lifestealer, and they've got the Anti-Mage, who, as we talked about, the only way that they're really going to have to deal with the AM is a Hex on the Prophet, and given that he started off in the tri lane and that he's currently only level 6, I don't think he's going to have that for a really long time.
No, Zhou is going to die to this. He should die from the Ice Blast, I think.
I don't think so.
No? Oh, man. Alright, well, sorry to hype that up, guys. I thought that was close. I guess I underestimated how much damage it's actually going to do, and of course the kill potential, I believe, is 12%, so...
it scales.
Yeah.
It's 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, okay. So 12 max, so that's what I was thinking of. Anyways, enough about that.
Well, 26% extra resist from Spell Shield saves lives.
Oh, yeah. I did just
always
notice
worth it to get the casual point.
Yeah.
Always worth it to get the casual point.
So, Zhou does live, albeit barely. He's back to full health as well. There seems to be a rotation coming in from Kabu as well as Sansheng. A drum is up on the Lifestealer now. And everything seems just to be heroes just trying to find farm. And you talked about the late game, and yeah, I think if they're giving room for Zhou to farm, he can certainly get a Battle Fury and start being that annoying anti-mage that we've seen so often. And yes, you have a Nature's Prophet. Yes, you're getting a Midas on your Nature's Prophet, but really, is that exactly what you need? I mean, it's going to give you a lot of farm, don't get me wrong, and you're going to split push very effectively, but Zhou is just going to start being a monster in fights if you let him. So, that's something to keep in mind for ForLove, I feel like. There's pings on Ro16, they know it's back up. I think Moo's going to run in there, just make sure they're not doing it right now, and he'll rage before
rage first.
Yeah.
They're really suspicious. Tongfu have a lot of wards over the pit area as well. They're trying to scout TPs into the tier 1, maybe trying to scout if any treants get mysteriously summoned just outside the pit as well. And wow, Stan gets caught bottom lane. Looks like he should end up dropping here.
Yep, they will grab that kill anti-mage, getting it there. That's exactly what they needed to get for Zhou. So we talked about ForLove getting complacent, and I feel like that's happening right now. They're trying their best to take this tier 1 tower down. There's a TP coming in from the Lifestealer, no one else. There's a roam through, actually on the backside. Looks like the Torrent grabbed the kill easily on ZSMJ. Now Moo's going to try to initiate on 5400. He cannot use that Frostbite, but instead he uses the Freezing Field, which does no damage to Moo. They'll take that tier 1 tower, however, and just back off. So they do lose the Crystal Maiden, but that's not too bad. They pick up the Rubik in the tower as well.
Bit of an odd decision there, I think, from 5400. The Kunkka had the right idea. He backed off. He went back towards the rune. 5400 thought that he could run around and back behind the tier 1 tower to rejoin his teammates, but Moo's going to punish him for that. So, despite losing the tier 1, I think things are still fine for Tongfu. If ForLove are going to be able to take the tier 1 mid and the tier 1 bot, it's going to take them a really long time, and that means that Zhou has his farming space secured for a while. And despite the fact that ForLove ran an aggressive tri lane, he's still up there in terms of overall farm. So
yeah,
the decision to aggressively tri lane didn't really work out.
Yeah, I mean, he only has that one death, and that came from him being a little too greedy, getting that double damage rune. Other than that, he's played very well, and his team supporting him has given him room. So they've really trusted him with this farm. There's a Vendetta on the backside. The Ghost Shift is going to fly in there, and it is going to hit on Zhou. He's taking a lot of damage. Is it enough? No, he'll blink away alive still. But now, Moo is in the fight. Raged up. Open wounds going. Fan trying to do what he can. This fight is now going heftily in favor of Tongfu. You can see Stan gets telekinesis back. Yim now trying to chase after somebody. Kabu it may be. It's a 1-for-0 trade so far. Kunkka is still alive. He actually made it out of there alive somehow. He was very low. Yim, do they have any sort of way to get him out? I don't think they've got detection here, and so Yim should survive, not even a problem. He's actually going to take Sansheng down as well. So somehow it goes evenly for the most part, and had Zhou died, that fight may have gone drastically different, but now a TP going in mid right now. They're looking to try to take down Pretty Hall, but they'll just push him back for the time being. And they're pinging on Moo. As you can see, Stan is invis, but it looks like he won't be able to go for a kill. Unless he wants to try to Ice Blast Zhou, but that's going to be difficult. He's got to be right next to him, I feel like, for that to work.
They've got the Nature's Wrath as well. I think if they combo Nature's Wrath and Ice Blast appropriately, they can kill him. It's been used.
We'll see.
Okay.
Oh, Zhou. He's going to get cold feeted as well. And it looks like he should survive, yeah. But actually, here's the Rubik with Shikuchi. Oh, see, that's the problem with that kind of play. It's just like, I might be able to kill this anti-mage. Oh, wait, there's supports here. I'm going to die. So, Tongfu pick up another easy kill. That'll be on the Ancient Apparition. And there's a TP top coming in from the Nature's Prophet. It looks like they want to go for at least a little bit of a push here on the top lane. Maybe just do some damage and back out real quick. They're on the backside. Kabu's carrying the lifesteal. This is very dangerous, and they've got to be very careful. And Kabu's going to come right in, and Pale's going to go up on Yim, excuse me. And, well, he's got Laguna to the face. He's going to fall, and Pretty Hall should as well. His open wounds may be available in a couple of seconds. Rage, Light Strike, right? They don't even need it. So, some tower damage for 2 deaths is probably not what they wanted.
No, and this is looking pretty bad for ForLove. Anti-Mage still has his tier 1s. They continue to try and kill him, but Zhou just keeps on living. This is like the 4th Ice Blast that he's eaten this game, but He's still absolutely fine. And again, the biggest thing for the anti-mage is you have to break down his tier 1s, you have to get up in his face and restrict his farming space, but that hasn't happened at all, and Tongfu are in a great spot. I mean, they're still down a little bit in terms of gold, but I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. But the one thing that ForLove have going for them now is they're going to go for Roche. And assuming this is a free one, you know, it doesn't get contested, then I think that this is a big pickup for them, because that Aegis allows them to fight more effectively. It gives them a little bit more gold to work with. They still have that gold lead, and that's good and all, but it's only a little bit right now. The Ice Blast does come through onto Mu and ZSMJ, which means they've got to back off. They can't keep pushing that tower, and that's from the Roche pit. So that long-range, you know, artillery, as they call it, coming in from Stan has been effective, at least thus far. So Medallion allowing Roche to go down rather quickly. Yin has an Aegis now, and he's building towards that BKB, which is a real good item. In the mid lane, Ghost Ship's going to go, and it does hit on Kabu. He had that Spike Carapace up, but he's low. Do they have any detection? No! Where's your detection, ForLove? You know there's a Vendetta up Nyx Assassin going to be roaming around.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Maybe
Dire's top tower
AA,
is under attack.
Can AA maybe get him randomly? He knows that Kabu has to head back to the fountain, but
there's no way he knows he's going that way. Maybe he'll wait until he gets towards the fountain. I could just think, like, what's the timing for that? But
yeah,
you look
this
at
is one of those like optimism moments.
Yeah, he's gonna just walk there, and I don't know. It'd be an amazing play for AA, and no, he's just gonna throw it down bottom and just try to blow up the creep wave. It looks like, interestingly. So 12-6 is the score with that Aegis and that kill, or not kill, but tier 1 tower, I believe, that they got mid. They have a 3,000 gold lead now, going their way for 411. I feel like that number is a little bit, it's not the most true stat line, true graph. I feel like it seems as though Tongfu are getting back into it because they have this anti-mage who will have his Battle Fury soon. In fact, I don't think it delivered anything to him just yet, except for his treads. I think he just got his treads. The Claymore is actually up on Joe's anti-mage now, once he decides to bring it to his inventory, and then he just needs, of course, the Perseverance, the 875 for the Voidstone to finish that off. So the Battle Fury it's a bit later than you might expect, but still not bad considering what had happened early on in the game.
He's got treads and a poor man's shield already, and it's going to be like a 19-minute Battle Fury. So you ask yourself, ForLove, what did they accomplish? They slowed down Anti-Mage's Battle Fury by like a minute.
A minute, yeah.
Total. So probably not worth it at the end of the day. I'm wondering if things might have gone differently if they'd actually had the Weaver down in the tri-lane, just because of how crazy Chilling Touch is with Geminate attack, but not sure if that would have necessarily made the difference. The other big thing, I guess, was they would have had the Prophet getting solo experience, and they would have had the Wrath of Nature ready to go from the top lane, but they made their choice, and I think it's more worth it to just talk about how the game is at the moment than just say, what if?
I do like this global strategy coming out for ForLove. You saw the Nature's Wrath, and you also saw the Ice Blast going through, and you look how low all these heroes are on Tongfu. And had ForLove decided to try to defend this, and it looks like they're going to send some TPs in, or not. Had they decided to defend that as 5, they probably could have gotten a couple of kills, but instead they're going to have to go for a tier 2 bottom. The Shadow Blade is done for Fan, but there's the Battle Fury for the Anti-Mage, and they still can't fight just yet. He still needs some room to farm, maybe get up his Yasha at the very least, or something like a Vlad's if he wants to, which we've seen from time to time. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a free tier 2 tower, but it is going to be traded for the tier 1 up top, and that shows split pushing already. So, you know, tier 2 for tier 1, not as bad as you might think. And the other scary thing is that Mu, he's got his armlet already as well. So they can still, you know, defend. I just don't think they can outright fight outside the base. X-Marks is going to go on Mu. They're going to try to push him right now. Torrent hasn't been used yet. Now the Open Wounds is going to go. The Rage was already used. 5,400 absolutely gets blown up. Ice Blast, I think, hitting on Mu. The ship as well. Mu's going to fall. Does he have buyback is the question. Everybody has buyback. I have never seen that before. Literally every hero has buyback. Anyways, Impale does miss from Kabu. X marks Torrent going, but obviously the Spike Carapace doing work there. Now the tier 3 tower taking damage. Joe is trying to do his best to split push. He will take that tier 2. Mo is bought back. He's ready to try to get in there and try to do some fighting, but ForLove are going to have to back off. And so they accomplish pushing that tier 2 tower down in the bottom lane, but they have to defend Joe, who's split pushing up in the top lane. And already at 2,100 gold, his Yasha will be done whenever he wants it.
Yeah, on Fan, Sinviz is going to find Joe here.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Well, what can you say other than, wow, Fengyun with that Shadow Blade coming in. It's actually being very effective. So Zhou, who could have gotten his Yashi, he actually did buy components, the Blade of Alacrity, the Band of Elven Skin. He should have had enough money to buy it before he died. Yeah, he did. So he died and he bought the components afterwards. So sadly couldn't get that entire Yasha completed and ready to go by the time he was alive. But still, you know, one kill, that's nice and all, but ForLove have been getting split pushed in. I don't know. How are you feeling about this game right now? Do you think Tongfu are the ones to, you know, lose this game, or do ForLove still have the advantage here?
I think if Tongfu can hold, the question is, can Tongfu hold? If they can hold for another couple of, if they can hold for another couple of minutes, then I think they're in an all right position because the anti-mage is really going to come into his own in terms of split pushing. The one question, I guess, is whether or not, can they hold until Zhou gets a Manta style and a BKB? Once he has Manta and BKB, he can participate in the fights, and I think that Tongfu can start winning the game. So that's the race. Can ForLove crack a lane of racks before Zhou finishes up those items?
It's a good question. And it's something that we saw down in that bottom lane. Is they tried getting into that tier 3 tower, and they just couldn't do it. But in the meantime, they'll work on the outer towers, and that is a nice start to getting into that tier 3. Because you'd like to take maybe more than one racks off the back end of a fight. So Xmarks is going to go on move, who is here. He should just rage that. Yep, he will rage any sort of torrent or something like that he thought might be coming. Still, the tier 2 tower takes some damage. It's not pushed in. As you can see, they have to wait for this creep wave. Yim will push it in with his, of course, illusions here, as well as the Shikuchi. Aegis is going to go down, however, in about a couple seconds. It's gone now, actually. So Desolator's the next choice for the Weaver now, which means a lot more damage for him. The BKB is already done. He's used it 0 times. He's ready to use it whenever necessary. And the thing is, Zhou is still farming very effectively. His Yasha is now done. It's not on him. It's still in the base, actually, which would give him some nice move speed. And that means the start of his Manta style is coming. So the Ultimate Orb, that'll be the next item, followed up by, obviously, the recipe to complete that Manta style. But here is a Smoke Egg coming out from Tongfu. We'll see what they can find. The rest of ForLove are just sitting in the jungle farming, not too far away. Pretty Haw is the person probably in the worst position right now, so he may very well get caught out. Yim is up here. He does have that BKB, so if he's able to get it off in time. Oh, and the Vendetta is going to come in. The Blink should be coming through first, and now he is going to shoot Kuchi away. That Spell Steal actually just signaled. Just said, okay, maybe time to get out of here.
And Tongfu, I don't know if they actually want to take a fight outside of the base here, so just going to have to retreat, go and find some farm, make sure that they keep the lanes out. They did a good job before they went for that smoke of making sure that the lanes were all in a good position. So 1, it wasn't too suspicious, and 2, it means that they don't lose too much in trying to scramble and get back. But ForLove just going to hammer down mid. Stan has gone back for a Midas here. I'm not so sure about the decision. There's still yet to pick up a single Force Staff between their 2 supports, and against the Lifestealer and a Nyx Assassin, a Force Staff is a huge amount of survivability on Yim. Gets caught.
He was not with his team, and they were just heading back home from that smoke up top. And they do lose the tier 2 tower. Oh, actually, Ice Blast is going to go. Fan has got to try to fight this now. Ghost Ship is up, but it's not going to do much there. In fact, stuns are coming through. Ghost Ship was stolen. It's going right on through. It's going to hit up on Stan. 5,400. In some trouble. There's going to be the freezing field, but too late. Now Zhou grabs another kill. 4 down. And because Yim gets caught out, that gives so much room for Tongfu and Zhou to farm up to get kills and to get towers. And they'll look for a tier 2 mid right now with Zhou leading the way.
That was just very nicely done from Tongfu. They caught the Weaver, they caught ForLove in a really compromising position as well in going for that tier 2, and well, it's going to take them a little while. They still need a creep wave to get this tier 2 tower on mid, and that's actually going to give ForLove time to respawn. Not even sure if they needed to use the glyph there, but we'll end up doing so.
Yeah, I don't know about that glyph, but Infest is going to come out for move to get him back to full health, and unfortunately, because there is no creep wave there, they cannot take that tower down. So I thought they would be able to get that tower with Zhou leading the way and doing damage, but at the very least, he's very close to his Manta style right now. Sitting on the Yash, obviously, like we've talked about. It's pretty much just the item watch of Zhou at this point is what I've kept my camera on for the most part. And, there are other items here that are important. You can see there's a Sanj and a Life Stealer, whether that's an SNY or Heaven's Halberd. We have yet to know. 4 step up, you talked about, I think, already for a couple heroes, including San Shang. And on the other side of the coin, You've got Fan. He does have that Shadow Blade. He's trying to get what seems to be a BKB. And a couple of other items here, you know, just strewn about throughout the rest of the heroes. So ForLove actually seems like they're a little bit under-itemized. Despite the fact that they have a 2,000 gold lead, they are missing, you know, about a 5,000 experience deficit. So Ro16's also up in a minute. That might be a point of contention. But what else could be a point of contention is this fight down here in the bottom lane. Is it looks like there was something that was going to break out, but it looks like ForLove's going to get out. Just kidding. Set your word on the ground. Ice Blast is going to go. Looks like it hits on a couple, but Fan maybe in trouble. The Torrent's going to fly as well. There's the Mana Boy not grabbing the kill. It's going to be ZSMJ instead. Light Striker right, BKB for Yim. Now Laguna Blade. That's going to be, I think, on 5,400, but he's too tanky. He will survive. Mu, however, will not. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade thus far. Joe actually grabbing the kill on the Crystal Maiden. I'm not sure how that happened. I didn't see the Crystal Maiden going down. Joe working on, of course, the creeps, and he'll make his way further across the lane and just try to farm for now. And no more fighting is going to happen here as Tongfu take it 2-1.
Yeah, and it was just really nice from Tongfu. They jumped on top of the Kunkka, and while he did manage to get off a nice torrent, the boat was just thrown to try and get Coco's Rum and survive. So, and Tongfu, can they really get Yim here as well?
The Light Striker Ray absolutely can. Joe just blinks up there, and of course Lena's securing that one with the right clicks and the Dragon Slave. So another big pickup, because that's Yim. That's your carry going down. And now ZSMJ and Joe working here on this tier 1 tower. They'll take the Ice Blast, but they're okay. Fan actually trying to initiate. The mana getting burned so hard, he's got none left, and gets X marks back, which was stolen by ZSMJ. Laguna Blade on Pretty Hall. He's got a mech up. He has no mana left. Mana Void dominating for Joe. They are taking this match right now. It's 3 down on the side of ForLove. Joe looking to push into this tier 2 tower, and now they're starting to come into their own now that he has his Manta style.
So when ForLove were moving down towards bottom lane, there's no tier 2. The only thing that they can do is go down there and force a fight and, you know, sit around, maybe siege the tier 3 a little bit. And they were really close to a BKB on the Kunkka and a Desolator on the Weaver, but they didn't quite have either. And this is kind of the same thing that happened to them in Game 2, where they were really close to a bunch of items, didn't finish them, lost a fight, and then the game kind of spiraled out of control. And then they also re-engaged again on the tier 1, which strikes me as a bit of an odd decision. I think if they wanted to be aggressive, they could have just gone for the tier 2 top lane, get that tower, get the gold for those items, and then go from there. But at this point, I think ForLove are in a lot of trouble. And they've even got this Midas up on the AA, so I'm a little bit surprised that they're not being just a bit more patient.
A lot of trouble is an understatement, because this is a team that started out with a level 1 Roshan. They had that advantage, and usually with level 1 Roshans you have a pretty secure lead, but they just let Joe farm for too long, and now there is going to be an initiation on Fan. The Impale's going to go, the Manta style. This should bring him down. Do they have Mana Void? It's not enough mana for Joe to use it, sadly, so that will be Fan surviving, almost going down, but now the Weaver trying to go right on top of Kabu. The TP coming in, Spike Carapace. Hex is up on Kabu right now, but Pretty Hall. He's going to use his mech before he goes down. The BKB is up. Yim trying to get out of there. Shikuching away. The right clicks are there. Now he has to time lapse out. All of that damage is gone. You can see he's back to full health, but still, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Joe still looking for Yim. He's going to try to, you know, just juke away here. And Joe says, maybe I don't want to chase this that long. But ZSMJ, they actually have the Gem of Truth set up. Of course, that is on the lifesteal. He's trying to get over there. They're going to infest. Try to get that vision. Telekinesis. Yim is going to fall. Mana Void and the right click securing that kill for Joe. 60 seconds for the Weaver to be down. And Joe is going to get another item. But at least the Weaver got his Desolator after he died.
That was a really heads-up play from Tongfu. They're like, how do we get the gem on the lifestealer from here to there? Well, you infest inside the Rubik, and the Rubik blinks, is the answer. So, very nicely done, and yeah, like you said, the Desolator is up on the Weaver, but Tongfu have taken a pretty comfortable lead, I think, at this point, and the experience is just completely out of control. They're leading by 14k right now.
Which is a lot of experience. And keep in mind, they also have 5,000 gold on Joe, that's just apparently a BKB right there. So another big item for him. Fan he's got a BKB now. The Desolator is done for the Weaver, and yes, that will help. But now Joe's just going to get his next tier of item after that BKB, whatever that may be. I'm not sure. Probably a butterfly, I guess I'd imagine, or Heart of Trask, one of those kind of items there for Joe. So we'll see what he wants to build in just a moment. Open Wounds is going to go on Stan. They're going to try to push this bag. X marks on Joe. His BKB is there. He hasn't used it yet. Ice Blast is going to fly. He's not going to take damage from that. Dragon Slave Laguna played the snipe on the backside coming out from Sansheng, just saying, hey, I'm here. Here we go. BKBs are flying right now. Ghost Ship's going to go. Everyone's here. Joe is the only one on the side of Tongfu, but he's already doing work, looking for 5,400. He's taking damage, however. He's got to blink away. He's actually rather low, so is Mu. X marks now going on Sansheng. Light Strike Array hitting on Yim. Desolator's done work. Infest it's available. Open Wounds does go. Infest out. Telekinesis is up, but ZSMJ is pretty much alone now. He's getting chased down. He can't afford to lose this gem. He'll use Shikuchi of his own and blink away. He should survive for now and get out of there. So, in the end, actually, Tongfu losing more heroes than they gain in terms of kills. So that actually gives room for ForLove to take a nice little Ro16, which is a big pickup because it has cheese this time around. So this game starting to get down to the nitty-gritty here.
Yeah, this could still maybe go either way, especially with this Aegis and cheese. We saw the Desolator from the Weaver was doing work in the last fight, and ForLove with the Deso and the BKB, the fights went a lot better. And now ZSMJ runs in here.
Oh, ZSMJ. So Crystal Man picks up that kill. Weaver will pick up the Aegis. The cheese is going to go to maybe the Kunkka. Looks like he's going to sell his bottle after he uses that regen rune. And so now with the cheese, he's got pretty much another life if he can use that cheese effectively. So maybe they try to go for the tier 3 in the Raxes now. I think that they realize that things aren't going their way, even though they won that last fight. They know that they are a bit behind here in gold and experience. They're not too far behind, but Yim's getting hit up right now. There's going to be the BKB going right now, trying to fight on Kabu. TP's coming in. The Hex is up now. Kabu may be dead here. The right clicks are going. Light Strike Array. Dragon Slave coming through. Can Tongfu turn this around? Joe's not doing enough damage here. Trying to go on Yim. He's going to time-lapse. He'll stay alive. X marks coming through. Laguna Blade. Yim is low. He still has the Aegis, mind you. Mu, he is going to fall. Let's check out buybacks right now. Mu, I don't think he's got one. Mana Void coming through. Joe will take down Fan. He doesn't use that cheese, I don't believe. He actually is going to buy back. He's going to try to get to the fight right now. He TP's right back into that tier 2 tower. Joe trying to fight some more. There's the Impale up. We see Nature's Prophet's going to fall, but Joe getting low as well. The Freezing Field coming out. He's going to buy back. Yim still has the Aegis ready to go. Now the Nature's Wrath. TPing back into Joe. Still wants to fight. Yim rather low, but he's still up and ready to go. He's just trying to do his best to survive and just dish out as much damage as possible. Hey, takes off. And the Nyx Assassin with the snipe. The Ice Blast. There's the Aegis finally gone. The Dragon Slave getting rid of it. The tier 3 tower falling a little bit slowly, but you know, with, of course, Fan in here, with Yim, now they're going to start doing work on the tower. Moves back up in 20 seconds. This may be a set of racks here. I'm not sure if they can contest it or if they can push them back. The Swarm's going to go. That was stolen by ZSMJ. Tier 3 tower under siege, slowly but surely. Who's going to jump in first? Sansheng's here on the side. He's got a 4-step. X mark's going through. Torrent's going to fly next as well. Ghost Ship, not going to hit. X up on Joe. Now the Raxes are exposed. They may need to back off. Now that moves back up and ready to go. Light Strike Array, missing it looks like now. BKB's going to go. Joe wants to try to fight this. Stan, Mana Void, wow, he gets melted. Pretty high as well, he's going to fall. Dragon Slave, it's a 1-for-3 trade, or an 0-for-3 trade, I believe, so far. And ForLove are going to get pushed back right now, as Joe is still looking for more. He's looking for Yim. They have that gem up still. Now it's on the anti-mage to the blink forward. The Infest out. Can they open wounds? They can. Joe's got blink in 1 second. That should be enough to blink forward and get that kill. End the trees. Yes, he's blocked him in. Joe grabs the kill. 4 down now on ForLove. And that was the best they could do with the time they had allotted.
Yeah, and that was the Aegis. Well, was the cheese used? No, the cheese is still up on Fan. They maybe got a little bit ahead of themselves. I think they were misplays from both sides. Honestly, Tongfu getting caught outside of their base, as ForLove were pushing in from Roshan, and then ForLove may be overstaying their welcome a little bit. It was also a pretty big deal that they dropped the combo onto this MJ. He probably should have died to the torrent in the boat, but he just mistimed it, and so this MJ was able to blink out in between the extra turn and the torrent connecting.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
We've still got a buyback. Yeah.
Nice individual play. And yeah, there are buybacks available like you mentioned. Sorry to cut you off there.
No. It's like, so we're still probably 1 round away. Oh, and this MJ jumps in.
Oh yeah, now they're just going to go hard. You can see Joe wants to get that kill. Instead, it's the Nyx Assassin. Cheese is pinged. Ghost Ship's coming through right now. and actually doesn't hit anybody. It looks like the BKB was up for Zhou. Now they blink out. Don't want to commit too much to this engagement. Sansheng is a little bit too slow to leave. Can they get this kill? There's going to be, of course, the slow coming in on the ground there. Stan getting hit up. Mu looking to do some damage. Rage is up and ready to go. Now the Mana Void coming through. Fan taking a lot of damage as well. He can't afford to drop. But here's Yim on the backside with the BKB going. Laguna Blade melts the Ancient Apparition next. Now Tongfu, they've got 3 kills going to them. They want a 4th. Yim telekinesis. Excellent chains. Double kill for Zhou. Maybe this is a set of racks. Maybe this is the game. And Tongfu have turned it around even after that level 1 Roshan.
Tongfu just showing, I guess, the benefits of experience. They seem to be getting a little bit less flustered in these situations. Like, they got the kill on the Crystal Maiden. Zhou used his BKB. They called that they had to back off. They retreated a little bit. ForLove chased out too far. And Tongfu just turned around, snapped, won the fight, and now they're going to pick up probably 2 lanes of racks as a result. There is a buyback available for the Weaver, but I guess he's going to wait for the Prophet and the AA to respawn before he uses it to see if they can actually get anything here.
I feel like it's too little too late right now, and they just missed their timing window for ForLove. Like, when they pushed down mid after they took that Roshan, I felt like that's what they needed to do a while ago. I mean, at least that's what it felt to me.
Yeah, and Tongfu's like, look, we're just going to end this game straight up. And ForLove, they've still got this buyback on the Weaver, but doesn't want to use it, apparently. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, now they're going to start fighting here. Torrent's up, Hex is up on Zhou. A lot of damage coming through. You can see they want to fight this, and Zhou is actually going to fall. He's down for 105 seconds. That's a big pickup for them, and he actually has no buyback with, of course, him being down. That's why his respawn timer is so long, because he did buy back. Sansheng, nice stun coming out. The X marks as well, though. It's only going to save his life for a moment. The Torrent goes through. The right clicks are there. And, of course, he was frozen into place coming out from the Ancient Apparition. So they take 3 kills. And maybe now they could push down mid. But, you know, Zhou is up in 82 seconds, so it's not the longest respawn timer. But they still have a bit of time to just try to push in and maybe even go for tier 4s. And suddenly it looks maybe doable for ForLove here. I'm not sure, because they have to go up against the, you know, of course, the Mega Creeps in the mid lane and the top lane they have to deal with as well. But interesting.
ForLove, do you have TPs? No, Rubik has Boots of Travel. They can infest the Lifestealer into the Rubik, and he can TP top, and he can end the game.
Yeah, Mu's actually still farming, pushing out the bottom lane, surprisingly enough. But, I mean,
I don't think they even need to make that play. Like,
no.
ForLove are taking forever to just push through mid.
Yeah, I mean, you look
Tongfu,
at
like, yeah,
40 seconds left for Zhou. Like, it seems like, yeah, they're just taking too long, and I think that's a byproduct of the Mega Creeps right now. They kind of have to go one by one, little by little, take it down, and it's actually, you know, they will take the set of racks down, which is nice and all, but Zhou's going to be up in 20 seconds. They're actually going to TP in Mu right now, and they're backing off, and this is not the play ForLove should be making, as you can see. They actually don't have Yim, who actually TP'd back home, I believe, and just was working on that. Now the Hex is up, as you can see on Mu. The Ice Blast is going to come through. Nice and pale. That'll be on 3, but Kabu's doing work here. You can see there's the Light Striker right. 2 down, 3 down, just like that. Zhou's back in. He's TPing in right now. Fan getting right-click down. That was all without Zhou, by the way. 4 dead, with Zhou doing pretty much nothing, and you got to call GG after that. So Tongfu, they will take the series 2-1 in the end. A little bit of a risky play with, of course, them going down mid and just trying to take those sets of Raxes for the set of Tongfu. They go down, but it doesn't matter. ForLove, they lose 4 heroes, and on the back of that, Tongfu take the victory.
I think ForLove seemed a little bit rough around the edges here and there, but still a great performance from them. Despite the fact that they've now been knocked out of the competition, they really gave Tongfu a run for their money, and it was nice to see Tongfu, I guess, step up a little bit and kind of rise to the occasion after what happened in Game 1. So, great series. I had a great time, and yeah, that's it for the night, I guess.
Yeah, it was a really good series, I gotta say. Really good way to end, of course, this day of casting Dota, this night of casting Dota, if you will. So, for everybody here, thank you for joining us, guys. This was Game 3, and so that's going to be it for tonight. My name is Mont. With me tonight is Basekip, and Basekip, before we get out of here, you have any shoutouts, and where can they find you?
So, just the same shoutouts as last night. Shout out to BTS for having me on to cast, obviously. Thank you, Mott, as well, for having me along for the ride. If anybody wants to figure out what I'm up to, I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, all under the name of Basekip. And I might be doing a little bit of streaming once we wrap up here for the evening. So if anybody's interested to come and hang out, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, please, please, please go give him a follow, guys. Absolutely do it, like you said, on his Twitter, Twitch, whatever. And as for me, if you enjoyed the cast, my name is twitter.com/montdota2. My name is Mont. You can follow me at twitter.com/montdota2. And let us know what you guys thought about the cast in chat. You know, feedback, comments, criticism, whatever you guys would like to do, go ahead and talk about that in chat. Once again, shout outs to Beyond the Summit for having us here. It's always great. We should be back tomorrow for, I think, the semifinals, is it? Or is it the quarterfinals? I believe it's the quarterfinals. So, the quarterfinals coming out for the Fengyun Dota 2 tournament. We'll take a break, do some commercials, and then head out of there. And everybody, have a very Merry Christmas. We'll see you all later.